Hello, all you hardcores out there. How you doing? Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. I say the things on here that nobody dare say. We're joined by Liam, and I'm out of power practically. You got them things I sent you, didn't you, Liam?
I have, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll start with Steve Collins one straight away, yeah?
Yeah,
Now, I called it. I said he'll get bladdered by that Spanish journeyman, but because they give him the big licks on Talksport and he were there with begging bowl because he's on his arse in his Steve Collins Senior. They're there with
yeah.
begging bowl wanting a slice at cake because he'll feel aggrieved, Steve Collins. Well, I know he does, and he's actually half all right when you meet him. He'll feel aggrieved because he'll see all the money that Eubank and Ben are getting, and he'll thinking, well, why can't his son have a slice at cake? Because he flogged both the dads twice each. So he's genuinely got he's got a case, hasn't he? Really? Do you think?
Yeah, I do. But unfortunately, Steve Collins Jr. ain't Steve Collins.
Yeah. And Steve Collins Jr. as a cruiserweight got absolutely battered inside 2 minutes by Gary Corcoran, a super lightweight, inspiring a 140 guy against a 200 guy. So we were never going to do it, were he?
Oh no. I've watched him box before, he's useless.
But they all bought into it, and I'm seeing Rhino getting loads of praise for for recommending that Collins got beat in that fight. Anybody who's anybody in boxing knows that, don't they? That he were going to get flogged against a journeyman.
Yeah, he's been beat a couple of times, hasn't he, by a journeyman?
Yeah, he's been. Listen, mate, he's useless. He was useless as a rugby player, but his dad was saying he's an Irish great. Look, every dad thinks the son's best fighter in the world, don't they?
Yeah.
I've met dads whose sons fight and they think the sons are fantastic. But when you sit them down in the cold dark light of day, all they want to do is put them in with knockovers and men with losing records because the dads aren't they? This is why dads should piss off out the sport. That harsh.
Uh, no, I agree. I agree to some of it. I mean, some dads are absolutely brilliant in sport, but I'd say 9 times out of 10, the dads ruin the sons, don't they, or the daughters getting too involved.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, sometimes it works, but very rarely.
Oh yeah. So it is what it is. Rhino and Macbedoff. What do you make of it all so far?
Uh, I didn't realise Makhmedov was as big as what he is. He's a big lad, isn't he?
Big lump in it.
Oh yeah. What's he? What is he? About 6'6", 6'7"?
6'7", I think it says on box it, doesn't it? I've also seen in a magazine him saying he's 6'6.5" or something. He's a
Yeah,
big old lump, in it, right? He's got a decent amateur record and he's beat better guys than Rhino, hasn't he? Right, they're a
yeah.
similar age, and all these people say Rhino's favourite. Look, if Rhino can get to end at last round, they'll do him a favour with judges, right? He'll get an hometown decision, which is quite rightly so because everywhere else, when our guys go abroad, they don't get the nod, do they? If they win,
No, and even when Dave boxed Lenroy Thomas in Sheffield, he still didn't get Robert Green, did he? With that
you didn't
decision.
get Robert Green. Frotch had him winning by about 9 rounds, didn't he? On unofficial scorecard. Do you remember?
It, yeah, I do. Yeah,
I told him that day. I says, make sure you look after Rhino on your unofficial scorecard, and he did, didn't he? But
a bit,
but,
a bit too much.
but after he were backtracking, wasn't he? Retreat, 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 retreat. He were giving it the old. Well, there were a lot of swing rounds, like the Gad does.
Yeah, yeah. He's good at retreating lately, Froch, isn't he?
Oh my God! Did you see his interview with Lady Rhino earlier when he said, "Oh Rhino, who promoted you when you fought Lewis Ortiz for 12 and you got 12.5 grand? You took it at a day's notice with a beer belly on him, and he don't even drink. Or what? A lion belly beer, lion bar belly." And Frotch were like, there were a lot of swing rounds.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's Froch all over that, isn't it? Lately.
Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, it was embarrassing. But from what I'm hearing behind the scenes, Eddie Hills told Rhino to set about him and keep going on about when Tony Bellew had him take a knee and Frotcher's like, well, we're off balance. Well, that means shit in boxing. Everybody's off balance when they got knocked down, aren't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But
I thought I wondered why that was happening because it like Dave took over the interview a little bit.
yeah, look, when you're 12 stone and you're sparring men 15 stone who are 2 inches taller, you're up against it anyway, aren't you? But
Yeah,
from what I've heard and from what Tony Bellew, to be fair to him in his interviews, he did say for years Frotch were knocking him about, but every now and then you're going to get caught, aren't you? If your sparring partner's getting brave, Frotch must have thought it was easy sparring for him, didn't he? And he come a cropper, didn't he, in one of them? But from what I've heard, he used to set about him, and I've heard his hardest spar. I don't know if you know this guy. Uh, he's called Carl. He has something to do with Scott's Menswear. And he used to have a Peugeot dealership, didn't he, or something? The
yeah.
old
I
guy
know.
from the Ingle gym. Do you know what I'm on about? He doesn't speak to him now, does he? They fell out, haven't they?
I don't know, but I know who he is. I know exactly who he is. Yeah,
Got
I've spoken to
white
him a couple
hair,
of
and
times.
he's about 70, isn't he?
Yeah, he got like a tash, like a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
goatee.
All right. Well, I used to go up to Ellaby on a Sunday morning. I'd go up there and I'd do a training session, or I'd have a swim. And he were always in sauna talking boxing, from night before and all that. Because he wasn't
Yeah,
one of them at the after parties giving it the big licks, like Sam Jones and Big Malk and all the rest of him. He was one of them that he'd help Dominic and all that and John Ingle. Then he'd go home with that. A decent enough fella. And I was sat in the sauna with him and they were telling a tale to this old boy, and he was sat there, and they were chuntering away, and he was saying, "Yeah, I've been at EIS this week. Robert McCracken with it, all excited and that. One of them millionaire types who like to hang around boxing, but a decent fella." So he's
yeah,
telling the story, and I know what sparring were going on there, but I didn't know what had happened on this particular day. And he was like, "Yeah, Bob Hatch's safe for sticking it to Frotch and that, blah de blah." And BRUTE arrives tomorrow, and he's going to be training out at Glyn Road's gym at Sheffield. And I thought, oh yeah, well I didn't know that at the time. So this is how you pick things up, isn't it? And he
yeah,
said, Aaron, everybody's saying Dominic as well. Flex. Yeah, you were saying this Flex, but it didn't happen. Flex, and then we're saying, oh, Frotch maybe might be past his best. And Eddie Hearn was saying, oh, yeah, we've got him a 2 fight deal, but he's not the favourite in both fights, but we're just going to get him 2 paydays because he's had a tough career. And I thought they're all right in Carl Offey, and I was fucking sat there and I felt like grabbing onto this. I thought, listen here, you old cunt, talking about my mate and my hero here. But I kept my counsel anyway. So we sat in this sauna. Anyway, week later, right, I've gone up and he's there again, and he's saying, oh, Frotch turned up at sparring and that, and he put Bob Ashley through ropes on final day. Do you know what I mean? Robert had told him to change it up, not work on this, work on that, and just let your hands go. And anyway, put Bob Ashley for about 14 stone. Frotch obviously were about 165 in weight, so he'd overdone it because he's really particular, about his weight and that. Because he starts
hmm
camp, doesn't he, about 170. He goes to McCracken, doesn't he, to lose half a stone. He goes 2 week on his own, then he starts with McCracken for 12 weeks. So Frotch started his camp about 170. Anyway, he's got him and he was underweight when he got Ashisay. And he's put Ashisay through ropes and really set about him. And then that Carl was saying, oh, we think Frotcher's going to be favourite now. He's just peaked it right. And that's what the elite fighters do. That's the difference between, your Bellews, your Bob Ashes safes, and your people. I'm not having a go at Crawler and all that. Guys in England, they tend to win a world title, and then they don't reign, do they? An average reign for British guys is like one or two defences, isn't it? They don't
yeah,
stay at the top forever, do they? But old Frotch putting through ropes, but he smashed them all up. He smashed them all up that year. All sparring partners: Alan Green, Pascal, the lot of them. Callum Smith used to be easy work for Frotch. Right upright and that. And I'm not
yeah.
bigging him up, but when you get to know, do you know what I mean? Because he is a bit of a tool, isn't he, on his YouTube? Frotch, you're a tool and you don't keep your word. But we can't knock his CV, can we?
No, I know I gave him some stick, and we all do lately, not because of his boxing career, but because of his channel and how he goes about things. But if you think of what an athlete he were, constantly throughout all his boxing career, basically on weight. And if, like you say, the champions that we have, it's a defence here, a defence there, then they lose belt. How long did Foch have it for?
Well, he had 12 world title fights. He lost to Ward and Kessler, rematched Kessler. Ward won't rematch him. And if you look at him, I think he's got 11 wins over champions, and they're all top guys, aren't they? I mean, somebody said to me over there, "Oh, he beat that Brian McGee. Brian McGee's shite, Porky." I said, Brian McGee went to Olympics. What he British British, European, and WBA champion and that, wasn't he? Blah, blah, blah. Brian McGee, fucking South. Have you ever seen that fight with Froch and Brian McGee? They went at it like fucking two alley cats. Have
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
seen
know.
that at
But good.
Southpaw against Froch? Have you seen that fight?
I've seen clips of it, but from what I can gather, it were a hard night's work for Foch, weren't it?
Yeah, well, listen, Froch put him on button moon. I think he dropped him 3 or 4 times or 3 times. In end, when he dropped Brian McGee ended up in hospital. He was in a bad way, mate, Brian McGee, because he were
Yeah,
knackered. Because Froch drowned it. What he used to do, and what people forget. Froch used to drown them from round 8 onwards because you see where I'm coming from. Eventually, you keep getting it, you keep getting it. You know yourself, you keep getting touched up, touched up. He wasn't like a Golovkin type guy or any shavers, but you keep getting whacked. You keep getting whacked, and then all of a sudden they keep finding more power right from round 8 onwards. Go and watch Carl Froch versus Brian McGee for a British title fight, and you tell me if we're getting British and Commonwealth title fights like that now. That'd be pay-per-view now.
yeah, yeah. I know. That's
That's
true.
one of
That.
the best fights you'll see on his highlight reel. Froch versus Brian McGee is a classic British title fight. And when do we get title fights like that for British title fights, eh? Two kids at top of the game, an Olympian going up against the World Championship bronze. We don't get that now. They'd be on 10 million each now for that.
I don't know. We're going Jamie TKV against Big Freeze. That's up there, isn't
Well, Big Freezer's Olympic bronze. Well, yeah, you'd say Big Freezer's all right for a British title. Yeah, TKV, he don't do it for me. Big Freeze puts him on bottom moon.
Yeah. Well, I think I can't understand how somebody's come off a knockout loss into a British title fight. Both of them.
Well, no, Big Freezer's come back though and had a win.
Yeah, but it were a blowout, weren't it? It weren't a proper win, were it? In my opinion.
No.
Not. You can't come off a knockout loss in the first round, then beat Tete up for 6 minutes, straight into a British title fight. And Jamie TKV, he's coming off a knockout loss as well.
Well, yeah, I suppose I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. Okay, so what did you react to Rhino's presser? Is he on it
Uh,
or is he just trying to piss everybody off? So it piss up everybody's leg because he's saying his shit is in his pants, is this and that and blah de blah. I mean, if he gets filled in here, right, and saved, is everybody going to turn around and say you've done too much social media trying to promote the fight? Blah de blah. You should have been at home resting and all that. Are we going to have that said if he gets filled in? Because do you think it's overkill now trying to please Eddie?
the If Dave loses this fight after everything that he said, then I think that's it. I think career's done, like fan base wise.
Dear.
I do because obviously we've been able to have excuses from him in the past. This isn't slagging him at all, but we've had excuses from him in the past saying that like overdoing the social media, didn't take it seriously, didn't train properly. This time, apparently, everything has been perfect. So this is his time to shine,
Well,
and
has
I
he
really, I really
got
want
a
him
bit
to win.
starstruck with all attention? You think it's gone to his head again like it did before?
I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult because I think his personality changes as the fight gets closer. Like today, he's still fun and games, isn't he? If you know what I mean, at the presser.
Acting daft man instead of trying to be serious.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, but as this fight gets closer, I'm fancying Dave to
Oh,
knock him out. I am, yeah.
Well, the other
We both
guy's a big stiff, isn't he? Let's be honest. He's a big old dummy, isn't he?
yeah, but we both know how talented and skillful Dave is, or he could have been, don't we?
No, could have been. We've not seen it, have we? We've
No,
seen it in
what he could have
gym.
been.
We haven't seen it. Dennis used to say he's talented to fuck but lazy.
Yeah, he is. Honestly, so talented. And if he can get everything right, which he says that he has done, we'll be able to see it tomorrow. So I think this is his last opportunity.
Well, Jamie Moore's come out and says Dave Allen can win a world title. Is he smoking some serious green or what? What's going on here?
Uh, it's difficult because if all these belts do fragment, it could be even Big Freeze could get one. It could be Dave Allen against Big Freeze for a WBA, no, something like that.
What WBA reg?
Yeah, that could happen.
Is that what era we're in now? Is this the era of boxing now, where we could have Rhino against its Big Freeze? Oh, a pair of them weren't even fighting for a belt not so long ago. Now they could be fighting for a belt that Ali owned.
Exactly, exactly, and that could happen.
Well, let's hope it does because, as far as I'm concerned, getting smashed up off Ortiz for chump change, I bought cars for more than that, and I've not had that many dear cars, never had a new one, but fighting Luis Ortiz for 12 and a half bags, what is that? When Joshua should have
Yeah,
fought him, really, shouldn't he? Come on. They signed him, and everybody says, oh, he's going to fight Joshua. They kept him away from Joshua, WBA #1. You don't put a young kid like Rhino in with Luis Ortiz, do you, at that stage of his career? Come on, why did Eddie do that?
who did he fight before? Didn't he
Dylan
fight Melissa
White, he fought
Scott?
Dylan White before that.
No, not Dave. One about Ortiz. Didn't Eddie put him in with Malik Scott? Then he had a year out and then boxed Dave, and that was 2 year contract, weren't it? Out at way.
I don't know. Get it on your box. I can have a look.
I'm sure that way. I'm sure that's what happened.
When all's said and done, is Eddie looking out for Rhino? That's all we want to know because he wouldn't speak to him for about 6 years, would he?
No, I I hope honestly I hope Dave wins and can
And
get as
fucks
much
him
money.
off and goes to Turkey.
Yeah, and gets as much money as he can.
And goes to Dana White and says, listen, Eddie, you shited on me with that Dubois when you said you matched the Dubois offer. Piss off, Eddie. We'd love
Yeah.
that. We'd be Team Rhino then, wouldn't we? Forever.
Oh yeah. I don't know because obviously we both know him. I just want best for him. Being a bit biased, I know, but and I know he's come up with excuses and that ain't passed and not performed, but I just want best for him.
Well, I'll look at it like this. Where does Elmer Fudd? Where's his slot in the middle of all this now? Where's he now? Because we're not hearing any names mentioned for him. He's gone up missing list, hasn't he, Big Elmer? He's been trained by Slow Tony now, isn't he?
Who could he even fight? I don't even know who he could fight.
Well, I think only money fight for him is Rhino. Me, do you?
That's yeah, yeah, probably. Or winner at TKV and Big Freeze. Sorry, loser at one of them two.
You reckon?
Yeah, there's no other like English level names, is there really?
Would you put it past Eddie putting Dylan White, the can't man, and Lazy Rhino together for a rematch?
Uh, yeah, that could happen as well if Dave loses at weekend.
You think?
I can't. You can't. He could even chuck him in with Chisora for his 50th fight.
Nah. What? Derek Chisora against Rhino?
It could happen.
Hey, listen, anything's possible. I was speaking to a world class trainer today, and he said to me, why not Rhino against Joshua if he beats Makmedov, obviously, in Nigeria, Rumble in the Jungle too?
No, that's Fantasy Island stuff like that, isn't it?
Well, anything's possible now, isn't it, when you've got Jake Paul, a YouTuber, walking around about 14 stone 4, bowling up against a 9 stone 9er
I
in
know.
Tank Davis. So if they can do that, They can put the other one on, can't they?
Yeah. Mad, isn't it? Mad that we're even saying that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Simon Jordan's just piped up. He's asking Rhino how big his dick is on Talksport in his boxer shorts in this modelling thing he's done. So all the hype's there now, innit? We're talking about Dave's packet now. Have you seen it?
I've not seen that interview now.
Oh, somebody just sent me it. We haven't seen it. Just telling me a text here. Right. Moving on from the lazy rhino, then. Look, you know my opinion on that. I think McMinoff beats him, and I think Jamie Moore jumps in and saves his life with towel. That's what I think. I go on statistics. Obviously, Rhino's in my bet because it looks attractive, and I want him to smash this Russian guy up. But I'm a realist, mate, right? When you get to nearly 34-year-old and you've been a pro over 13 year, and then you turn round to boxing community and you say, right, I'm taking it serious for the first time in my life after all these fights I've had. I'm taking it serious. I've got two kids and I'm doing it for my nana and granddad. When you start chatting that, but you've been a pro 13 and a half year, I'm thinking to myself, no, leopards don't change their spots. Yeah, he might have got his head in shape, but that don't mean shit. You know that, Liam, and I know that. I'm in shape now, but I won't be as good as the Porky who were 13 and a half stone, 18-year-old, fucking dropping nut on people and flopping doorman. I won't be as good as that kid. Do you know what I mean? You know, 37 year ago. Do you see where I'm coming from? And I don't think Rhino coming out saying, I'm taking it serious, I'm stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet, I'm eating tuna and brown rice, all that knackers. I don't buy into that shit. Because if you were taking it serious, you won't be on social media at 2:15 at night. 2:17, hang on, 2:17 a.m. tweeting or Instagramming, whatever. You'd be asleep, wouldn't you? In
Yeah.
camp 2 weeks ago. So when you're doing shit like that, I always say no. I think you're falling in love with yourself and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Taking it, you're more bothered about the social media because if you can blag it this far and you've not won a belt, right? And you've not trained and not took it serious, if you blag it this far, why would you change? You see, you can tell us that because they were telling us all that before them other fights, weren't they? David Price and Yoka, Dylan White, and all that. He were telling us all that then. So what's changed from then to now? Because she lost a bit of weight. I don't buy into that. I don't buy into it. Or if you want to prove to me, get running up Cunningsford Viaducts round Dennerby and that 6 mile. Let's see you do it. Let's see what your time is. That's all. I'm from the Dennis Hobson school. All right then. Well, let get on scales then. Let's see how much weight you've lost. Let get running around that running track. Let's see what your times are. When you can't do that, it's bollocks. He's that's where I'm coming from. He's not in my bet, mate. So he's in my bet, but he's not in me head. If you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know where you're coming from. But this is the last time he's going to get away with that story.
The odds are decent, aren't they, for him though, aren't they? Betting odds for him to pull it off. He's good in and it's attractive, isn't it?
It is, yeah. That's what I don't understand. Do they know something that we don't? Do you know what I mean about
Maybe they
McMahon?
do. I don't know, but when you go on what's gone on in the past, where people are saying I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm quicker than a speeding bullet, I'm taking it serious, I'm eating kangaroo meat, they give it all that shite. How many times do we hear though it's the best camp ever?
Yeah, every time.
Time, every fucking fight, innit? Every
Yeah,
fight. So when you're doing interview after interview after interview, and you're trying to come over as this, yeah, I'm genuine, I'm this, I'm that, and all that. I'm one of them people. Do you know how fucking quick I lose my right. I said, Dennis, it's a load of bollocks. Liam Cameron have had the best camp ever. I said, Liam, you don't even do runs in the mornings, yeah, but just tell Dennis that. Do you know what I mean? Just tell him I'm training me bollocks off. They're not. Fighters lie the bollocks off. They lie. When that camera turns on in front of a professional boxer, they lie, mate. They fucking lie. They
yeah,
lie. They can't help themselves. They just tell lies. So I don't believe any shit I'm told. I just don't believe it. I don't believe all this Jamie Moore knackers is going to win a world title and all. I don't believe it. I've got Macmid off, but Rhino's in my bet because it's attractive with me accumulator. And every now and then I might pull one out of 20 off, and I'm like, get in there. Because we're always surprised, aren't we? You've got to make it interesting. I used to look at Steffi Bull's accumulators. They go, show me yours. He showed me, and I'd be like, fucking hell, that's a bit of a fantasy, isn't it? And do you know what? He'd get 9 out of 10. And I'd be like, wow, if he'd have got that 10th one, he'd have been on for like 20, 30 grand, from
Yeah,
a 300, 400 quid bet. And I'd be like, wow. And he used to go for them, Steffi, every weekend, no matter what. And he'd always get 8 out of 9, or 6 out of 7, or 9 out of 10. Trying to make it interesting.
yeah.
The Rhinos in me bet to make it interesting by a stoppage late on, just a stoppage, but do you know what I mean? But we're gonna see, aren't we? But in me heart of hearts, I just don't believe it, mate. I wanna, but I just don't believe it. So I'm gonna say McMinoff beats him and Jamie Moore saves his life, and people are gonna say, look, well, he fucking lied again. Because once people tell you lies, oh, what else they say? It's no fucking good, is it, Liam?
No, I know.
You know
Uh,
what's the saying? I'm doing 6 mile every morning, training my bollocks off, Dennis. You're like, wow, he's training his knackered off. Dennis was like, yeah, just tell him to jump on scales. You see where I'm
yeah,
coming?
I do. Yeah,
Oh, Mark Tibbs is. How have you been doing, Xavier? With Dylan, Mark Tibbs flying out to Portugal to check on that Xavier Miller. That shithouse who backstabbed him with
yeah,
Coleman, and then he got knocked out by Mott Povetkin, didn't they? As soon as they left him, so they're going out.
yeah, yeah,
Well, Mark Tibbs says, "What you been doing then?" They handed Mark Tibbs a load of spreadsheets, and they were giving him all this data and this and that. Mark Tibbs says, "Hey, fuck off with your spreadsheets. Just tell him to jump on scales." Do you see where I'm coming from? He knows his fighter, doesn't he, Mark Tibbs?
yeah,
When you hear a fighter day in day out, you know if they're fit, don't you? You just check by the cheekbones, and you look at the fucking sides of the stomachs, don't you, on the side? So I'm not buying into it. I'm looking at Rhino's stomach and I'm thinking, is he lying? Is he lying like before? Do you know what I mean? So we're
yeah.
going to
I don't.
see, he's trying to fool us all.
I, I, I don't. This is last chance where the excuses for
Liam,
me.
Liam, Liam,
Sat
no,
there.
no, 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 it isn't. It isn't. Because if he gets flogged, he'll go away, he'll eat lion bars for 6 months, he'll come back fat as a pig, and he'll reinvent himself because he's cunning like a fox. Because we heard all this after Tony Yoka, didn't we? And we heard it all after David Price, didn't we? And he's back again with more bollocks. So we're going to see, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens Saturday, and then we can.
Listen, mate, he'll be fighting at fucking 42 like Chisora. All right. And then after that, it'll be Misfits. And then after that, it'll be fucking some cage fight or some mad or some wrestling bollocks. So I don't buy into that shit. Anyway, moving on from Rhino because he's bored me to death. I want to see proof in the pudding at the weekend.
Yeah.
Right. Uh, Simon Jordan reacts to Eddie Hills saying he's going to have a war with Dana White. What do you think to that?
Uh, I ain't seen the video, but why? Why's Eddie Hearn said that he's going to go to war?
I don't know, mate. I don't, what's Eddie talking about wars for? He's never had to overcome any adversity in his fucking life. Took to school in a limousine, private school. So what's he talking about wars for? When has he ever been in a war? Has he ever had a fight? Has he ever
Yeah,
been?
never know.
Has he ever been in a position where he's had no money in his pocket, or his kids have been saying, "We're getting bullied at school, Dad, because we've got fucking shit trainers, high-tech trainers, and we want Nike." Has he ever had that?
No, he's
He's
never
never
had
had to
anything,
overcome
has he?
adversity, then, has he?
He's relentless, though, isn't he? He's relentless. That's what his
Well, his
book says.
book's relentless, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's a Yeah, he's never struggled, has he? He's never worried about making sure you got enough money to pay mortgage and put food in the fridge.
No, is he? No, 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 no. So what do you think then?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know why he said it. I mean, Dana would beat him physically, and I think back in a Turkey in 18 months' time, boxing will probably be, what's it called? Dana's company.
Stuff for boxing.
Yeah, I reckon that'd be above Matchroom in probably 18 months.
Do you want
I'm
to
a
do
bit
part two,
stable.
Liam?
Yeah, kind of, John.
Right, let me send you a link now then, yeah?
Yeah, all right, pal.
Go jump on at 5 past, yeah? I'm just going to have a piss because I've got all this Sam Higginbotham somebody's given me to fucking swill.
Yeah, all right, pal.
See you in a minute. Pop,
All
pop.
right.
Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Do apologise for the swearing. You don't get paid when you swear, but I don't care really today. I don't really care. I'm just sick of listening to knackers in emails that people sent me. And oh, matchmakers telling me this and telling me that. Nothing's changing in the sport, is it? We're trying to make a change here, aren't we? But we're listening to the same old shit. Look, boxers are not putting the time in the gyms. They're not doing it. They're wanting to go on social media and get fights and that. But nobody's fit. Back in the day, they were doing 20, 30 rounds. Then they reduced it to 15, didn't they? Now it's 12, and some of these are even in 10 rounders now, and they're gassing after four. I don't believe knackers. I don't believe what I'm told. But I hope the accumulator comes in. So if Rhino can pull it off with a KO, Big P will be fat with about 7,200 quid. So we're going to see, aren't we, if I get these 5 fights over the line at the weekend. We always try and make an interesting accumulator because we're all dreamers. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Porky's International YouTube. That's where it's at the moment. That's taking off at the moment. It's funny, isn't it? More people are interested in me letting rip on there than this at the moment. It's growing a lot quicker than this shit. Boxing. I think I've missed some, and are we doing non-boxing videos, eh? But we'll see. The sponsors are pinned in the comment section. We're now about to approach can free. Can free San Miguel. That's it for me. If I get four down without being sick, that's amazing. Booyaka. Max, don't speak to me ever again. I don't like you no more. Clean your teeth before you ring me on that stupid video WhatsApp thing you ring me on, Max. You've got brown teeth from sucking Dennis's arsehole.